Good morning. Today we will start with numerical methods in heat conduction. We have mostly considered relatively simple heat conduction problems involving simple geometries with simple boundary conditions because only such simple problems can be solved analytically. But many problems encountered in practice involve complicated geometries with complex boundary conditions or variable properties and cannot be solved analytically. In such case, sufficiently accurate approximate solution can be obtained by computer using a numerical method. In analytical solutions method, we have a differential equation together with boundary conditions. They result in a solution functions for the temperature at every point in the medium, while in numerical methods, on the other hand, are based on replacing differential equation by n algebraic equations for the unknown temperature at n selected points in the medium, and simultaneous solution of this equation results in the temperature value at those discrete points. So there are several ways of obtaining the numerical formulation of heat conduction problem: finite difference method, finite element method, the boundary element method, and energy balance method, which is control volume. So in this chapter we will use primarily the energy balance approach, since it is based on the familiar energy balance on the control volume instead of heavy mathematical formulations. So numerical methods, because of the presence of high computer and powerful software packages, so engineers in the past had to rely on the analytical skills to solve the significant engineers problems, and thus they had to undergo a rigorous training in mathematics. Today engineers on the other hand have access to tremendous amount of computation power, so that's why we can go for numerical methods. So you can take the example of this sphere. The mathematical formulation of one-dimensional steady-state heat conduction in a sphere of radius r0, whose outer surface is maintained at a uniform temperature of T1 with uniform heat generation at a rate of G0, was expressed as by this equation, which we had already discussed. And this is your boundary condition here, this and this, and you will get a analytical solution which is Tr is equal to T1 plus heat generation by 6k into R0 square minus R square. This is a very desirable form of solution, since temperature at any point within the sphere can be determined by substituting the R coordinate of the point into this analytical solution function above. Also you can find the rate of heat flow at any location within the sphere or its surface with the help of Fourier law. By putting this Tr here and taking the derivative, you will get this equation, which is the heat transfer. The analysis above did not require any mathematical sophistication beyond the level of simple integration, and you are probably wondering why anyone would ask for something else when you have this simple solution for this sphere. Analytical solutions methods are limited to highly simplified problems in simple geometries. The geometry must be such that its entire surface can be described mathematically in a coordinate system by setting the variables equal to constant. That is, it must fit into coordinate system perfectly with nothing sticking out of it. In the case of a one-dimensional heat conduction in a solid sphere of radius r0, for example, the entire outer surface can be described by just one parameter, that is r0. But in actual case, geometry involves number of parameters. Take example, the spherical object with an extrusion like a handle at some location is impossible to handle analytically, since the boundary condition in this case cannot be expressed in any familiar coordinate system. So even in simple geometries, heat transfer problems cannot be solved analytically if the thermal conditions are not sufficiently simple. For example, the consideration of variation of thermal conductivity with temperature, the variation of heat transfer coefficient over the surface, or the radiation heat transfer on the surface can make it impossible to obtain an analytical solution. Suppose we have an oval-shaped body. Either you can simplify this model by considering a sphere and you will go for exact analytical solution of model, but the second is the realistic model, which is the approximate numerical solution of the model but accuracy solution for the actual problem. The solutions we are the solutions of mathematical models and the degree of applicability of these solutions to the actual physical problems depend on the accuracy of the model. An approximate solution of a realistic model of a physical problem is usually more accurate than the exact solution of the mathematical model. We are attempting to get an analytical solution to a physical problem. There is always tendency to oversimplify the problem to make the mathematical model sufficiently simple. Therefore, it is common practice to ignore any effect that cause mathematical complications such as non-linearities in the differential equation or boundary conditions. So it comes as no surprise that non-linearities such as temperature dependence of thermoconductivity and radiation boundary conditions are seldom considered in analytical solutions. A mathematical model intended for a numerical solution is likely to represent the actual problem better. Therefore, the numerical solution of engineering problem has now become the norm rather than the exception. Even when analytical solutions are available, we will prefer this realistic model over this, say, you can say analytical model for a sphere. Derivatives are building blocks of differential equations, and thus we first give a brief review of derivatives. Consider the function f that depends on x. So fx, the first derivative of at any point is equal to the slope of a line tangent to the curve at that point and is defined as, so this is your here curve here. So this is the tangent line which will give you the slope, which is equal to the limit del x tends to 0, del f by del x is equal to limit del x tends to 0, which you can write here as this. So value at this point, which is fx plus del x, minus value of function at this point at x, which is fx. So you can write in this form, where this is the will give you the this del f value, which is increase of this quantity when your x will change from x to x plus del x, which is the ratio of increment del f of a function to the increment del f of the independent variable as del x tends to 0. Now if you won't take the limit, this expression will become this. So this approximate expression of the derivative in terms of difference is the finite difference form of first derivative. So this is your finite difference form of this first derivative. The equation above can also be obtained by writing Taylor series expansion of the function f about the point x. So this is Taylor series expansion, which is fx plus del x, which you can write in this form. Now, neglecting all the terms in the expansion except the first two means you can keep these two terms. When you keep this term and this term, you can derive this solution here same by taking this side and divided by del x, you will get the same solution. But you have to neglect these terms which are here, this term. So if you neglect this term, definitely there must be some error. The first term neglected is proportional to del x square, and thus this error involved in each step of approximation is proportional to del x square. Means your error, if you approximate, if you remove this equation here, if you remove this you can say del x square, your error will be proportional to del x square. And if you want to minimize the error, your del x should be small as possible it can be. So therefore the smaller the del x, the smaller the error, and thus the more accurate the approximation. Now consider study one-dimensional heat transfer in a plane wall of thickness L with heat generation. The wall is subdivided into m sections. You can see it is divided into m sections of equal thickness del x. So this is 0 to 1, this is del x, this is del x. So m divisions are done with del x as the element, and del x should be small as possible. So the wall is divided into m sections of equal thickness where del x is equal to L by m. So total you can say this del x can be determined from the number of sections. Larger is the number of sections, smaller is del x, and better will the approximation. So in the extraction you can see there are total m plus 1 points from 0, 1 to total m. There are total m plus 1 points called nodes or nodal points. These points are called nodes and nodal points. The x coordinate of any point m is simply xm is equal to m del x. Means if you find the x, you will multiply by m, which is this node by del x, and the temperature at that point is simply Txm, which is equal to Tm. So this Tm is equal to, you can represent with the help of Xm again. So temperature Txm is equal to Tm. The heat conduction equation involves the second derivative of the temperature with respect to the space variable, such as dt square by dx square, and the finite difference formulation is based on replacing the second derivative by appropriate differences. So you have to replace the second order derivative equation with the appropriate difference in terms of these nodes and in terms of temperature, which is at m plus 1 node, which is Tm is at m node, or Tm at minus 1 node. But we need to start the process with the first derivatives using equation this, the first derivative of dt by dx at the midpoint m minus 1 by 2 and m plus 1 by 2. So this is your midpoint here, means this point which is m, and this will surround this m, and this is your del x here is given dt by dx m minus 1 is equal to, so this derivative here will be represented by Tm minus Tm minus 1 divided by this distance which is del x. So this is at m minus half. Same for m, this is at this point which is here, which is m plus half. You can write Tm plus 1 minus Tm divided by del x, which is at m plus 2 here. So this is your first derivative at 2 points, 2 nodes. But we need second derivative, and second derivative is simply the derivative of the first derivative. So in case of second derivative, at this point m can be expressed as this term minus this term divided by del x, which is here, this term, this here, minus this divided by del x, and it will come to as Tm minus 1 minus 2 Tm plus 1 divided by del x here. So this is finite difference representation of the second derivative. You can replace this value in this equation. You will get this equation where m is 1, 2, 3 to m minus 1. If the surface temperature T0 and Tm are specified, the application of this equation to each of m minus 1 interior nodes result in m minus 1 equations for the determination of m minus 1 unknown temperatures at the interior nodes. Solving these equations simultaneously give the temperature values at nodes. If the temperature at outer surface is not known, then we need to obtain two more equations in a similar manner using specified boundary conditions. Then the unknown temperatures at m plus 1 nodes are determined by solving the resulting system of m plus 1 equations in m plus 1 unknown simultaneously. So this differential equation will give the results for these points, and it is valid for all throughout the line. But in this case, which is your finite difference equation, or you can say it is valid only for few points at discrete points. The smaller is the value of del x, the more number of points you can obtain. So that is for one dimensional. You can extend this for two dimensional heat conduction. So in case of two dimension, you will get this equation here, where you can see this is your finite difference mesh for two dimensional. Here you had m is equal to 1 to 3 to m minus 1 and n is equal to 1 to 3 to n minus 1. You can see this is the point mn. So you can write in this form, that is Tm plus 1 comma n minus this plus this point divided by del x square. Now you can see that there are n equal subregions in the y direction and m equal subregion x direction, and total of m plus 1 into n plus 1 nodes. So can be used to obtain a finite difference equation at m minus 1 into n minus 1 of these nodes. Means these are the number of the equations which we form here. So you can solve also. So this is up to here about the finite difference method. Like this channel, subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. Good morning. We will start with numerical methods in heat conduction. One dimensional study heat conduction. In this section, we develop the finite difference formulation of heat conduction in a plane wall using energy balance approach and discuss how to solve it. So the energy balance method is based on dividing the medium into sufficient number of volume elements and then applying energy balance on each element. This is done by first selecting the nodal points or nodes at which the temperature are to be defined and forming elements or volume control volumes over the nodes by drawing lines through the midpoints between the nodes. So this is your midpoint here. So this is your volume element of the node M. This way the interior nodes remain at the middle of the element and the properties at the nodes such as temperature and the rate of heat generation represent the average property of the element. So this is a general interior node. Sometimes it is convenient to think of temperature as varying linearly between the nodes. To demonstrate this approach, we consider study one-dimensional heat transfer in a plane wall of thickness L. So this wall is divided into m equal parts from 0, 1, 2 up to m, where del x is equal to L by m. This L is total length divided by number of the elements or regions. You will get this del x. This is your del x. This del x. So therefore we have m plus nodes labeled from 0 to m. The x coordinate of any node m is simply xm is equal to m into del x. If you have to find x value here, you will multiply m by del x, you will get x coordinate. And the temperature at that point is again Tx is equal to Tm. To obtain a general difference equation for the interior nodes, consider the element represented by node M and the two neighborhood nodes m-1 and m+1. Assume the heat conduction 2 into the element on all surface, means from this direction, that is Q from left hand side of the wall or Q from right hand side towards this M node. So apply energy balance, rate of conduction from left side plus rate of conduction from the right side plus rate of heat generation is equal to rate of change of energy content of the element. So this equation. Now since energy does not change, it is steady condition, so this must be 0 and energy generation is equal to G dot, which is heat generation per unit volume, into volume of element, which is area into del x. So replace this G here. Recall the linear temperature equation for conductivity through a wall of thickness L, that is Q conduction is equal to K del T by del x. In case of plane wall with heat generation, the variation of temperature is not linear. You can see here temperature at their point is this one, Tm-1, at other point temperature may be Tm, at this point it may be different. So however, variation of temperature between the nodes can be approximate as being linear, but you can consider that between this node and this node temperature is linear. You can consider it linear. Obviously, the smaller the distance del x between two nodes, the more accurate is the approximation. In the limiting case of del x approaching 0, the formulation become exact and we obtain a differential equation, noting that direction of heat transfer on both sides is towards this element or towards this node, which is M. So from this side direction is the transfer is this, and from this side direction of heat transfer is towards the M element. So you will have this equation Ku conduction, which is Ka Tm-1 minus Tm by del x, and for this side you had Ku conduction is equal to, which is Ka Tm+1 minus Tm by del x. By putting this equation into this equation, you will get this equation. Divide this by del x, you will get this equation. Now this equation is same as we had developed in case of temperature. This equation is applicable to each of m-1 interior nodes, and its application gives m-1 equations for the determination of temperature at m+1 nodes. The two additional equations needed to solve for the m+1 unknown nodal temperature obtained by applying the energy balance on the two elements at the boundaries. So you probably think if a heat is conducted into the element from both sides as assumed in the formulation, the temperature of the medium will have to rise, and thus the heat conduction cannot be studied. Perhaps a more realistic approach would be assume that heat conduction to be into the element on the left side and out of the element from the right side. If you repeat for this, you will get the same result. So this is because this Tm minus Tm plus 1 in the stead of Tm plus minus m, which is subtracted instead of being added. Therefore, the assumed direction of heat conduction at the surface of volume element has no effect on the formulation. Means whatever direction you will assume, you will get the same result. However, if you convenient to assume the heat conduction to be into the element is this case, so even then you will get the same result. So then all the temperature difference in conduction relation are expressed as the temperature of the neighborhood node minus the temperature of the node under consideration, and all conduction terms are added. So you will get this equation here, which is same as this equation. Boundary conditions. Above we had developed a general relation for obtaining the finite difference equation for interior node of the plane wall. This solution is not applicable to the nodes on the boundaries. However, since it requires the presence of nodes on both sides of the node under consideration, and a boundary node does not have a neighborhood node on at least one side. So you can see here, you had one node this side, but if you consider this surface, there is no node present on this side. So therefore finite difference equation for boundary nodes is different. So this can be obtained by applying energy balance on the volume elements of boundary nodes. Now in case of boundary nodes, the volume of element is less, it is half, and volume element is del x by 2 has to be considered, and its volume is half as compared to the previous case. The specific temperature boundary condition is the simplest boundary condition to deal with. For one-dimensional heat transfer through a plane wall of thickness L, the specific temperature boundary condition on both the left and right side can be expressed as T0 this side is equal to T0, TL which is on this side, which is Tm, where T0 and Tm are specific temperature at surface x is equal to 0 and x is equal to L. When other boundary conditions such as specified heat flux, convection, radiation or combined convection and radiation are given, so in that case we have to develop a energy balance on the volume element, which is heat transfer from all sides plus heat generation is equal to 0. So take this case, this is heat transfer from the left side, this is your Ka T1 minus T0 by del x, this is heat transfer from right hand side, this is heat generation for this is the volume of the element, this element. So this equation can be solved if this value is given. So specific heat flux boundary condition, in that case this flux is given, that is Q0 A. You can replace this with Q0 A, you will get this equation. If it is insulated boundary, then your Q0 is 0, means there is no heat flux if this is insulation. So in that case this will turn 0 and you will get this equation. Convection boundary condition, in case of convection you can replace this term with the help of convection, which is HA T infinity minus T0 when this boundary is convecting heat transfer. So you can replace here with the radiation if this surface is subjected to the radiation, combined convection and radiation boundary condition. So if there is a radiation as well as convection, so both term will come here into this equation. So this is combined heat transfer coefficient in this case. Interface boundary condition. Two different solids, media A and B, are assumed to be in perfect contact and thus at the same temperature at the interface at node M. Subscripts A and B indicate properties of media A and B. In that case, this is your equation here. Heat transfer from this side plus heat generation plus heat transfer from this side plus heat generation. So in the relation, Q0 is a specified heat flux in watt per meter square, H is convection, and H combined is a combined convection and radiation coefficient. T infinity is the temperature of the surrounding medium, and T surrounding is the temperature of the surrounding surface. E is the emissivity of the surface, and sigma is the Stephen Boltzmann constant. So the relation above can be also be used for M node on the right boundary by placing the subscript 0 by M and subscript 1 by M-1. Treating insulated boundary nodes as interior nodes, the mirror image concept. One way of obtaining the finite difference formulation of a node on an insulated boundary is to treat insulation as zero heat flux and to write energy balance as done in previously. You can use this equation where energy flux is zero, which will act as insulated boundary. So this is done by replacing this insulation with this mirror, and you have this 1 and 2 nodes here. So then using the general formula for an interior node, which involves the sum of temperature difference of the adjoining nodes minus twice the node temperature, the finite difference formulation of a node M is equal to 0 on an insulated boundary of a plane wall can be expressed as, you can express in this way. Now put here M0, you will get this equation, which is T1 minus 2T0 plus T1 by del x square. So this M point is same, and the equation here is utilized as this 0 point, which is equivalent interior node. So by placing M0, you will get this equation, which is same as we had discussed above. The mirror approach can also be used for problems that possess thermal symmetry by placing the plane of symmetry by a mirror. Now you have n algebraic equations in n unknowns nodal temperatures, and that need to be solved simultaneously. When n is small, such as 2 and 3, you can use elimination method to eliminate all unknown except 1 and then solve for the unknown. The other unknowns are then determined by back substitution, or you can use direct or iterative methods. The direct methods are based on fixed number of well-defined steps that result in solution in a systematic manner. The iterative method, on the other hand, are based on initial guess for the solution that is redefined by iterative until a specified conversion criteria is satisfied. So we need computer and with a good memory, and computation time will take, and you will get the result. A computer memory requires for iterative methods are minimal, and thus they are usually preferred for large systems. The convergence of iterative methods to desired solution, however, may pose a problem. Two-dimensional study heat conduction. In this section, we will consider the numerical formulation and solution of two-dimensional study heat conduction in rectangular coordinates using the finite difference method. So this is your here. This is your nodal network for finite difference formulation of two-dimensional. Consider a rectangular region in which the heat conduction is significant in x and y direction. Now divide this xy plane into del x and del y, these nodal points which are spaced by this distance del x and del y, while the depth is, which is equal to del z, is equal to 1 in this case in z direction. So our goal is to determine the temperature at the nodes, and it is convenient to number the nodes and describe their position by numbers instead of actual coordinates. A logical numbering scheme for two-dimensional problem is the double subscript notation, which is Mn. So means you will represent this node by M and N, where M varies from 0 to M and N varies from 0 to N. So here this del x, or you can say x, you can find the coordinate by this relation M into del x, and you can find y by multiply the number of node with the del y, you will get the y coordinate, and temperature is represented by M and N. Now consider a volume element of size del x and del y at M around this Mn node in the region in which heat is generated at the rate of g. So again, assuming the direction of heat conduction to be toward the node under the consideration all the surfaces, the energy balance of the volume element can be expressed as. So this is your energy from this side, energy from this side, energy from top and bottom. So rate of heat conduction at the top, left, right, bottom plus rate of heat generation must be equal to rate of change of energy content of this element here, which is equal to conduction from left, conduction from top, conduction from right, conduction from bottom plus generation plus is equal to change energy of element. Because this is steady state, so this element is 0. Now for this heat transfer, which is in this direction, x direction, the area of you have to take Ax, which is del y into unit depth, which is del z, and during this heat transfer in y direction, which is this, you have to take this area, which is del x into 1. So this del x into unit depth. So when you take the heat transfer from this side, from left side, you will take this node and this node and this node. So which is here. This is your area in the x direction. This is node Tm-1, n, which is this node, minus Tm, n, which is this node. Same for the other directions. You will get this equation here. So divide by del x del y, you will get this equation, where m is equal to 1, 2, 3 to m-1 and n is equal to 1, 2, 3 to n-1. So this equation is identical. This equation, both are identical. So in the finite difference analysis, usually square mesh is used for simplicity. In that case, del x is equal to del y is equal to L, and you will get this equation. When you place here, you will get this equation. So this is the left side temperature node, this is the top side node temperature, this is the right side node temperature, this is bottom side, minus 4T node. Now if heat generation is 0 in this case, this term 0, so you will get T node is equal to this, which has an interesting interpretation that the temperature of each interior node is the arithmetic average of temperature of 4 neighboring nodes. Means this temperature is the sum of the 4 neighborhood node temperature, which is in this case is this node, this node, this node and this node. When you take the average of these 4 nodes, you will get the temperature of this node. Boundary nodes. The development of fine difference formation of boundary nodes in 2-3 dimensional problem is similar to the development in 1-dimensional case. Again, the region is partitioned between the nodes by forming volume elements around the nodes, and energy balance is written for each boundary. You can take this case. This is the volume element of node 2. This is heat transfer from left side, bottom side, right side and top side. So this sum of heat is from all sides plus heat generation is equal to 0. So all heat transfer to into the volume element from all surfaces except for specified heat flux, whose direction is already specified. If heat flux is given, then direction is already specified. Otherwise, you have to consider that all heat transfer is towards this element. Transient heat conduction. We have applied the finite difference method to study heat transfer problems. Here we solve two transient problems. The solution obtained is valid for any time space under study conditions. The temperature do not change with time. In transient problems, however, the temperature change with time as well as position, and thus a finite difference solution of transient problems require discretization in time in addition to discretion in space. So here finite difference formulation of time dependent problems involves discrete point in time as well as space. So this is del t here, this is del x, this is space, this is your time. This is done by selecting a suitable time step del t and solving for the unknown nodal temperature repeatedly for each del t until the solution at the desired time is obtained. For example, consider a hot metal object that is taken out of a oven at initial temperature Ti at time t is equal to 0 and is allowed to cool in ambient air. If the time step of delta is equal to say 5 minutes is chosen, the determination of temperature distribution in the metal piece after 3 hours requires the determination of temperature 36 times, means total 3 hours after 5 minutes you have to find. So if you divide, you will get 30 times you have to find, means there should be 36 steps of this delta. I is equal to 1 correspond to t is equal to 5 minutes, this delta, and I is equal to 2 correspond to t is equal to 10 minutes, means this point. The notation TMI is used to represent the temperature at node M at time step I. So this is node M and this is temperature at this M node when your time is I. This is temperature at node M-1 when your time is I, and this is temperature at the same node when you had increased by 5 minutes in time. The formulation of transient heat conduction problems differ from that of steady ones in that the transient problem involve an additional term representing the change in energy content of the medium with time. So this is the change in energy content of the medium with time. So this additional term appears as a first derivative of temperature with respect to time in differential equation and as a change in internal energy content during delta in the energy balance formulation. So this is your energy balance here. Heat transfer into the volume element from all surface plus heat generated within volume element during time delta is equal to change in energy content of the volume element during delta. So multiply these three equations, these three parameters with delta, you will get delta into summation Q plus delta into heat generation is equal to delta element. You can divide this by delta or you can take delta on this side, you will get this equation. Now here you can see that this delta element is equal to mc delta. You can replace this delta element by mc delta. This is your mass volume into density C into delta. Now you can replace this delta further with this equation here. This is the change in energy content of the volume element of a node M during time interval delta, that is Tmi plus 1 minus Tmi, where Tmi and Tmi plus 1 are the temperature of node M at time Ti and time Ti plus 1. So this temperature is at time I into delta and this temperature is at time I plus 1 into delta. So means with the change in time your temperature will change. So it is the time duration during which your temperature has changed. So that is the total change in the energy content of this control volume. So this term is simply the finite difference approximation of partial derivative delta by delta that appears in differential equation of transient problem. So this equation is also valid for 2 and 3 dimension. So for the special case of Tmi plus 1 is equal to Tmi, it means no change in temperature with the time. So then this equation becomes your steady state. If these two are equal, so then this term will be eliminated and the equation becomes steady state. The nodal temperature in transient problem normally change during each time step, and you may be wondering whether to use temperature at the previous time step I or new time step I1 plus 1. So well, both are reasonable approach and both are used in practice. The finite difference approach is called explicit method, and in the first case it is called implicit method. So if explicit method, then you will use, you can see time derivative is expressed in forward difference form in the explicit method, which is I plus 1 and I, where we are using I here for these element components, but in the backward difference form for implicit method, because here we are using I plus 1, but here we are using I plus 1 and I time. Transient heat conduction in a plane wall. Consider a transient one-dimensional heat conduction in a plane wall of thickness L with heat generation G dot x comma T. So this is your heat generation. The constant thermoconductivity K at the mesh size here is del x, which is L, this total length L by M, which M is the number of nodes 0, 1, 2, M in x direction, where volume element is equal to A into del x. So this is the area of surface into del x. This is the volume element here. So the transient finite difference formation for an interior node can be expressed on the basis of using this equation 539. Now this is the heat transfer from the left side. This is heat transfer from the right hand side. So this is heat transfer here. This is heat generation component. This is your change in energy content of the volume with respect to time. This is temperature at I plus 1 time. This is temperature at M node when your time is I. So cancel the surface area, which is common, and multiply by del x by k. You will get this equation here. Now this term we had already used. It is called Fourier number. You can replace this with the Fourier number. You will get this equation. So this equation here is simply the finite difference formation of the problem for the study case. This is not surprising since the formation must reduce to study case for Tm. If this temperature is become equal, means with the change in time your temperature will same, then this will become study case. Also, we are still not committed to explicit or implicit formation since we did not indicate the time step on the left hand side, means we haven't indicated what is the time step here. So suppose we assign time step as I here. So this equation here will become explicit equation. If you assign instead of I, you will assign I plus 1, then this equation is called implicit equation. The application of either the explicit or implicit formulation to each of the m-1 interior nodes gives m-1 equations. The remaining two equations are obtained by applying the same method to the two boundary nodes, unless of course the boundary temperatures are specified as constants. For example, the formulation of the convection boundary condition at the left boundary node 0 means at this side will give you one more equation. For the explicit case, it can be expressed as HA T infinity minus T naught I plus this is your heat transfer from this side due to the conduction, which is Ka T1 I minus T naught I divided by del x plus heat generation is equal to change in energy content of this element during that time interval, which is del T at this node. So you can find this T naught I plus 1 here, and you can replace the value of this tau, which is here, with 0.5 for no heat generation, and then your explicit finite difference formation for a general interior node reduces to this equation here. If you put m0 for this node at 0 at this place and put tau is equal to 0.5 for no heat generation case, you will get this equation, which has the interesting interpretation that the temperature of an interior node at new time step is simply the average of the temperature of its neighboring nodes at the previous time step. You can see this is temperature of the node at the new time step, which is I plus 1 is equal to average of the temperature at the previous time step for the neighborhood nodes. Once you had formed explicit or implicit formulation, you can start with the initial condition. The solution of transient problem is obtained by marching in a times using a step size of del t as follows. Select a suitable time step del t and determine the nodal temperature from the initial conditions. Taking the initial temperature as the previous solution Tmi at t is equal to 0, obtain the new solution Tmi plus 1 at all nodes at time t is equal to del t using the transient finite difference relations. Now using the solution just obtained at t is equal to del t as the previous solution, you can obtain the new solution which is Tmi plus 1 at t is equal to 2 del t, and you can repeat this process until the solution at the desired time is obtained. Stability criteria for explicit method, limitation of del t. The explicit method is easy to use, but it suffers from an undesirable feature that severely restricts its utility. The explicit method is not unconditionally stable, and the large permissible value of time step del t is limited by the stability criteria. If the time step del t is not sufficiently small, the solutions obtained by explicit method may oscillate widely and diverge from the actual solution. To avoid such a divergent oscillation in nodal temperature, the value of del t must be maintained below a certain upper limit established by the stability criteria. So it can be shown mathematically or by physically argument based on second law of thermodynamics that the stability criteria is satisfied if the coefficient of Tmi in Tmi plus 1 expression called the primary coefficients are greater than or equal to 0 for all nodes m. So this is your explicit formation. This is at temperature at 0 node at I plus 1 time, which is equal to A naught T temperature at 0 naught for the previous time, that is I. And same, if you replace 0 by 1, that you will move to the second node, third node and fourth node, so on. You will get A1 AM. The criteria is that AM should always greater than equal to 0. So this is your explicit formulation here, 547. Now in this case, the coefficient of Tm is I minus 2 into Fourier number, and this should be greater than equal to 0 for the stability criteria. So if this should be equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0, then you will get this value here. By putting the value of Fourier number, you will get this equation that alpha del t by del x square should always be less than or equal to half, which puts a upper limit on the selection of del t. So del t should be within a limit, it should not go beyond this limit. When the material of medium and its thermal diffusivity alpha is known, this value is known, and value of mass size del x is selected. Say del x is taken as 0.01. If you put the value of alpha and del x, you will get that del t should be less than or equal to half del x square by alpha, which here is 1.85 minute. To understand better the stability criteria in case of explicit method, you can use an interior node of a plane wall in equation for no heat generation. So remove this step here, which is heat generation. Remove this, you will get this equation here. Now equation reduces to this. Assume that at some time step I, the temperature at Tm minus 1 and Tm plus 1 are equal but less than Tmi. Say this is the case. 50 degree at m minus 1 node, 50 degree at m plus 1 node, and at m node say it is 80 degree, which is higher. At the next step, we accept the temperature of node m to be between the two values, means at the next time step, which is I plus 1, we expect that this temperature will remain within or upper limits of this 50, but it will lie within these limits. However, if value of tau exceeds say 0.5, means if you use value say here 1 here, so if you use 1, it will become negative. The temperature of node m at the next time step will be less than the temperature of the neighboring nodes, it will be 20. If you use tau here 1, it will become negative and you will get 20 degree, which is physically impossible and violates the second law of thermodynamics, because now temperature between these two nodes, which are 50 and 50, had decreased, which is not possible, which violates the second law of thermodynamics. So requiring the new temperature of node M to remain above the temperature of neighborhood nodes is equivalent to requiring a value of tau to remain below 0.5. Means your Fourier number can't be 1, it should be always below 0.5, so that this temperature at node M remains always above the neighborhood nodes at any time step, which is same as we had specified here, that this tau should be less than or equal to half, which is same. So this Fourier number is the condition which is need to be fulfilled for use of explicit method, that this Fourier number should be below than 0.5. Implicit method is unconditionally stable, and thus we can use any time step we please with that method. Of course, the smaller the time step, the better the accuracy of solution. The disadvantage of implicit method is that it results in a set of equations that must be solved simultaneously for each time step. Transient heat conduction in large uranium plate. Consider a large uranium plate of thickness 4 cm. Thermal conductivity is 28 watt per meter degree Celsius, and alpha is equal to thermal deficit, which is equal to 12.5 × 10⁻⁶ meter square per second. That is initially a uniform temperature of 200 degrees Celsius. Heat is generated uniformly in the plate at a constant rate of G is equal to 5 × 10⁶ watt per meter cube at time t is equal to 0. One side of the plate is brought into contact with the ice water and is maintained at 0 degrees Celsius at all times, while the other side is subjected to convection to the environment at 30 degrees Celsius with a heat transfer coefficient of 45 watt per meter square. So you have to find, using explicit method, the surface temperature, exposed surface temperature of the plate at 2.5 minutes after the start of cooling. Means at this surface you have to find a temperature after 2.5 minutes. Here the number of nodes are 3, 1, 2, 3, so M is 3, and they are chosen to be at the surface of the plate and at the middle. So this is at middle and 2 nodes are at the surface. So in this case your del x, this del x is equal to, that is total length you can say is equal to 4 cm divided by 2. So del x will become 0.02 meter. So T0 is equal to 0 degrees Celsius at all times. This will remain at node 0, always 0 degrees Celsius, because it is subjected to the cooling. So we are left with this unknown temperature and this unknown temperature. So two unknown temperatures at two nodes. So we need two equations to solve this problem. Node 1 is interior node, so we can use explicit finite difference formulation at node 1 by setting M0. So you can use this equation here for explicit. This equation you can use also. For node 1, put M is equal to 1 here, here, here. You will get this equation. Now node 2 is boundary node subjected to convection. This node is subjected to convection. So this 2 node is subjected to convection. For this case we have to use this equation, which includes convection, this part, conduction, this part, heat generation within this element is equal to change in energy content, which is equal to mCp del T. So divide this equation by K2 del x, and using definition of thermal diffusivity, which is alpha is equal to K by rho C, and a dimensional Fourier number which is alpha del T by del x square. So replace this here and you will get this equation here. Rearrange this equation to find this 2 to I plus 1. You will get T2 I plus 1 is equal to this. Now we have to find upper limit of time step del T from the stability criteria, which requires that the coefficient of T1I in equation 1 and the coefficient of T2I in the second equation must be greater than or equal to 0. Means your this coefficient must be greater than or equal to 0 in this second equation, and this coefficient must be greater than or equal to 0. So definitely this coefficient is smaller as compared to this coefficient. So we will take this as the criteria. We will keep this greater than equal to 0. By putting this greater than equal to 0, you will get, and rearranging, you will get del t less than is equal to this value. So you will get del t by putting the value of all the parameters in this equation. Del x square, which is already 0.02 meter, 2 into value of alpha plus 1 plus h is given 45. This del x is 0.02 meter and k is your 28 watt per meter degree Celsius. You will get del t must be less than equal to 15.5 second. Say we will take del t is equal to 15 second in this case. Now when you take del t 15 second, your Fourier number will come 0.4687. Now replace this value of Fourier number in 1 and 2 equation. So fill the value of Fourier number, heat generation, del x and k in this one equation, and again in the second equation fill the value of Fourier number, h, del x, k and heat generation. You will get this equation, these two equations here. The initial temperature of medium at T is equal to 0 means when your I is 0 is given to be 200. So T10 is equal to T20 is equal to 200. So put here I0 in this equation and you had this value 10 and you had value 20. You will get this equation. You will get T1 one temperature 139 and T2 one temperature, means after 15 second you had value at the temperature at first node and at the second node. Similarly, the nodal temperature T12 and T21 mean at first and second node after 30 second are determined. Similar case, you can put value of I 0 and then you can put I here 1. You will get this value T1 2 and T2 2, and when you put I is equal to 1 here, it means you are finding the value corresponding to 30 second. So in this case, continue in the same manner. The temperature at node 1 and 2 are determined for I is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 50, and this is tabulated here in this table. So we have to find temperature at the exposed boundary surface 2.5 minutes after the start of the cooling, where 2.5 minutes corresponds to, if you multiply by convert it to second, it will become 150 second, and if you divide by del t, which is 15 second, it means the 10th step. So 10th step you had this value for T2i and T1i, which is 139. It means the boundary surface temperature after 2.5 minutes is 139 degrees Celsius, which is this surface temperature. The same problem you can use or solve by implicit method. Two-dimensional transient heat conduction. Consider a rectangular region in which heat conduction is significant in x and y direction, and consider a unit depth del z is equal to 1 in z direction. Heat may be generated in the medium at a rate of g dot, which is a function of x, y and t, which may vary with time and position, with the thermal conductivity K of the medium assumed to be constant. Now consider this mesh here with nodal points spaced by del x in this direction and del y in this direction. These are the nodal points. So consider a general interior node, this Mn, this point. Noting that this volume element centered about the general interior node Mn involves heat conduction from four sides, from left, right, top and bottom. The volume element is, volume of this element is del x into del y into 1, which is del x del y. The transient finite difference formation for a general interior node can be expressed on the basis of this equation. So this part is your heat conduction from left hand side. So heat conduction from left hand side will depend on temperature of this node and this distance. So this is your temperature difference, this is the distance, and this is your area, that is this one del y from this side, and del z is 1, and this is your thermal conductivity K. Heat transfer from top side will depend on temperature of this node, which is T m comma n plus 1, and temperature of this node, which is T m comma n, and this distance del y, and area here is del x into 1 for del z, del x, del z here is, it is 1. Same, this is for from this side, right hand side, this is for bottom side, is equal to heat generation plus change in the energy content of this element during del t time. If this mesh is square, in case del x is equal to del y, say L, so replace del x del y by L, you will get this equation. So this temperature here is the neighborhooding node temperature. This temperature here is also the node which is neighborhood to this node. This is also this temperature which is neighborhood to this node, and you can express this in terms of left, top, right and bottom, because these are the neighborhood nodes. And this is the node temperature which we have to find out. Again, the left hand side of this equation is simply the finite difference formation of the problem for study case as expected. Also, we are still not completed to explicit or implicit formation, since we did not have indicate the time step. So assign a time step for explicit case. We will assign I as a time step on this side. So this is your explicit formation. Find T node I, rearrange this equation and find this temperature, which is T node at I plus 1, which is equal to this here, where your m varies from 1 to m minus 1 and n varies from 1 to n minus 1 in the medium. In case of no heat generation, this component is 0 and tau is equal to 1 by 4. Then you will get only this with these components. These components will cancel out. So you will left with this equation, which has the interpretation that the temperature of an interior node at the new time step is simply the average of the temperature of its neighborhood nodes at the previous time step. You can see here, these are the 4 neighborhood nodes whose temperature is defined. This is the temperature of interior node, which is m, time step I. So this node m at I plus 1 time has a temperature of 25, which is average of the temperature of the neighboring nodes at the previous time step, means 20 plus 30, 50, and this is 50 divided by total 100 divided by 4, which will get 25. And the stability criteria that requires the coefficient of this in this expression to be greater than or equal to 0 for all nodes is equally valid. So here this 1 minus 4 tau must be greater than or equal to 0. So it means tau greater than or equal to, or you can say less than or equal to 1 by 4. So this is the criteria for stability. When the material of the medium and thus the thermal diffusion alpha are known and the value of mesh size L is specified, the larger allowable value of time step del T can be determined from the relation above, this relation.